I never get to hit the live button anymore. Tyler doesn't let me for some reason. Hello, everyone. I'm Allison. Welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Big Brother 22. All Stars, anyone? Anyway, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot of feels going on. I feel this is going to be a violent therapy session. I'm not sure yet. A lot of feelings, a lot of words are going to come at you. Beth is having a procedure done tomorrow, but it will not be here this evening. And Tyler, just whatever. Do we really need him? Is he necessary?
I've always been saying Tyler's not necessary.
I mean, it's a thing. So much to go over. I don't even know where to begin. Ian evicted, classy guy, classy speech. Tyler, I hate you. Nobody wants to buy Angela's. How dare you peddle, endorse your crap during an eviction? How
save that bullshit for the diary room.
It was right after Ian said like such a pretty classy speech, maybe not the best speech he could have given, but like, and then Tyler just starts with that, and it just shifted everything to like, oh yeah, all these people suck.
It went right to please buy Angela's cookbook. What?
Literally right after Tyler's speech ended, I tweeted, "I hate everything."
Yes.
Because I knew exactly how this game was gonna, like, the vote was gonna go 5-3.
Right.
It was just, ugh.
And
I've got a lot to talk about at the vote, but I don't know if we're there yet or not.
Go ahead and talk about the vote, Andrew.
I disagree with Nicole Franzel's decision.
I do too.
Here's how I would have played it, and I am not the master that Bill is at this game, but I do know a little bit. I'm just kidding. I love poking fun at Bill. It's good seeing Bill and Matt here tonight, and Allison as always.
Yes, welcome Bill and Matt, patrons of my weekly meltdown. Matt is our moderator. If you're posting porn links in my dadgum chat, he's going to come after you. Now, not unless it's a good porn link. I might want that later. And we got Bill,
Sequester. Copy them for you, Allison, first, and then I'll delete them from the chat.
That's right. That's right.
So if I am Nicole Franzel, here's what I'm doing. I am publicly still going to Ian and tell him I'm voting for him, right? Like 100% going to Ian, tell him I'm voting for him. But then I'm not. I'm forcing the tie. I'm making Danny get the blood on her hands, and then I'm pinning it on somebody else. Look, I told Ian that. We were friends. Why would I do this, right? Like, why would I tell Ian that and then vote against it? Then I'm pinning it on Enzo. I'm pinning it on someone else of that nature. We're getting to the nitty gritty, and this alliance is already starting to implode, and she needs to keep the heat off of her. So to not force the tie there, make Danny lose a jury vote, and then still be able to put the pressure onto somebody else is the move that I don't feel that she made correctly. I think Ian would have gone regardless, but I felt like she could have spun that and maybe been an all-star.
This is All-Stars.
But there's no gameplay. It's let's do what the boys tell us to do and go against our gut. And Nicole could have spun that in a whole other direction that would have made me respect her more. And two, she's now the only winner left in the house, right? Like, she doesn't stand a chance to win the game.
I'll devil's advocate just for the sake of conversation. Nicole made the only move she could make.
No.
Because Danny wasn't going to evict Tyler.
That's fine.
And so she picks up 3 allies who have won a total of 2 competitions this season, compared to all the allies she just burned.
But you totally obsolete the fact that I say you then pin that hinky vote on Enzo, who has cast.
Enzo was campaigning all week for Tyler.
But Enzo has cast hinky votes already this season.
But no one knows Enzo has cast the hinky votes.
Nobody knows that he doesn't do it this time. Now you start to get the wheels turning to realize this is something that Enzo's been doing. It's all the spin you put on it, right?
But that would require Nicole to know that Enzo has been the one throwing the hinky votes.
It doesn't matter. You can, and it doesn't have to be Enzo. You blame it on Enzo, blame it on Cody. But there's been so many times where that's happened. It's all about making it into something else, positioning yourself in the game now that Ian's gone.
All right, I'm kind of on Matthew's side. Like, I just don't think that.
Of course you are. You never agree with me, Bill.
I don't think Nicole's going to be able to pin this on anybody. Like, come on, like. There's no way anyone's buying that. The second she started crying, and whether it's real or not, half the time it was, and towards the end it wasn't. once that starts happening, and once then she starts adopting like Ian's like use of the word best friend, because that Ian started that. And once Nicole found out, like she started using it in her campaigning, which just makes her look freaking horrible. And like after all that happened, there was no pinning it on anybody else. I think that she needed to either be savage and just like, you know, straight up like say I'm voting out Ian and not campaign, be like this is it because I'm committed to the committee, or she has to like throughout the entire week and with every conversation say or just say it publicly, I'm keeping Ian. Danny, you do what you have to do, but like at least show loyalty to the person that you're calling your best friend and everyone is associating and perceiving as your best friend. You have those two choices, and she just muddled up both of them and created this blur of nothing, and she's just tanked her entire game, and now she has 4 people that are not, well, you know, regardless of what Ian's saying, like, you know, about how he respects the game or whatever, like her game or the game of the committee, regardless, she has 4 people most likely not voting for her if they're in the jury. So that, you know, Danny, David, Ian, and Kevin, like it's just not happening. So she's tanked her game. It's just worst case scenario for Nicole Franzel. She's here's your $50,000 for second place and game over. I'm just pissed and sad. Like, I have a strong special connection for Ian. Like I care for the guy, and it just sucks. This is like how it felt when Ovi went out. Like it's bad. Ugh.
It's like I think Nicole, and this is just my 2 cents. I think she should have forced a tie. I think she should have, since Danny, it's all on Danny. It's her HOH. Let her make the final decision. Maybe take some of the heat off of Nicole. But I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to side with these people. Listen, honey, you're the first fly that's going to drop in that alliance. I can tell you that right now. Nicole's done. She's going to be the first one out.
I think this HOH was the worst. Like this week was the worst thing for Nicole's game, no matter who left. Because if she forces the tie and Danny evicts Tyler, she's out in the cold because she isn't close to David, Kevin, or well, she's getting close to Davon. And then she burns all of the guys. Yeah. If she puts Danny in the position where she has to burn all of the guys to like keep Ian and evict Tyler, then, you know, I still don't understand why Danny did not use her replay power. Can we get to that?
Yes. What I'm sitting here, I'm like, girl, why the heck are you not? I'm looking at Baby Yoda going, are you watching this shit? She ain't using it. Why?
Yeah, because Danny Donato is realizing that she's not the player that she thought she was, at least not anymore. And she blundered up her entire HOH, and she just didn't want to have to do it again, especially in front of America, and potentially, you know, with realizing what might happen again with the potential, you know, boot list of, you know, the 3 POCs potentially up on the block again. Like, she doesn't want to have to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
So is she just looking at it as like, she's just not going to use it, or if like one of her allies is HOH next week, she'll use it to be like, hey, love you, here's your chance to play an HOH again.
The
like,
move
I don't know what her play is now.
The move she wants to make, she can't make, right? Like, she would love to put up Tyler and Christmas. That was her original plan, was to put up Christmas until Davon reveals Christmas has the power. Then Danny has to nominate 5 people. So Danny can't make that move. So she does not want to be seen. And I actually agree with the decision to not play the replay power. Because if she's not going to make that move, her only decision then is to put up Kevin, David, Davon, right? Davon, she's building a little bit of rapport with. Kevin and David are in this other alliance. And if Danny now continues to pick off this other side, 2 HOHs in a row, she has screwed herself on jury, right? I feel like she gets out of this week a little squeaky clean. If Davon wins, I think she's okay. If any of her alliance wins, I think she's okay. And so I think she can move forward, and I don't think Danny will be a target this week. So
unless Tyler wins. If Tyler wins, maybe this is the one time to root for a Tyler win. Like, maybe he realizes he's not going to put up Davon. He's not going to put up Kevin or David. I think it's gonna be Danny. Like that's just what my gut feels like. I just feel like that's where he's gonna go. He's gonna realize that this was all like, you know, eventually he's gonna realize it was supposed to be him at some point, and I think that's gonna come out if he wins HOH. And I think Danny goes on the block, and maybe we say goodbye to Danny.
There's something in the chat that's
so poetic.
I noticed when watching the HOH Cup. Jody mentioned extra it. Lane. There was an extra lane. There was clearly space for another person.
Oh, really?
And if you did not notice that, and I'm assuming all of these people are smart enough to notice, there was easily a way to
Of
throw
course, they're in
another
Archer.
setup and another. So someone's got to know something's fishy.
I don't know. But listen, here's the thing. I love that Ian flat out told Danny, well, I'm not voting for you. I'm going out the door. I'm not voting for you. Period.
Mm-hmm.
End of it. And he was real with her. And let's play devil's advocate right now. If Danny makes it to the final two, who's going to vote for her? Who's not going to vote for her?
Depends who she's sitting next to.
Okay, who is she sitting next? She's sitting next to.
She's sitting next to Nicole Franzel. She wins.
Jesus, anyone sitting
I think
next
so
to
too.
I think
Nicole Frankel
Danny can win
wins.
against Nicole and maybe David, but I think the rest of that house has a very solid case.
I think she could win against Kevin.
It would be very close.
Does
but
Danny
you know
win
what?
against Tyler after all this?
Because if she's sitting against Kevin, Davon and David are both probably voting for Kevin. Ian's not voting for her.
I just
That's
kind of
three.
I truly feel Davon's going to vote for the game player. I truly feel that about Mama Day.
But see,
hope so. We would
I
hope
also
so.
see. I agree. Davon would vote for the game player in most instances, but to give a first African American player to win Big Brother, I don't think she would pass that opportunity up. Because an African American, to my knowledge, and someone can correct me in the chat.
Outside of celebrity, Tamar
outside
won
of celebrity Big Brother, which we're not counting because it's a different.
Yeah.
It's something unto itself.
Yeah.
No African American has won.
Mm-mm.
And I just don't think Davon would pass on that.
Okay, but for your scenario, David has to make final two, and there's a 0%
David,
chance
Kevin,
that
I
that's
mean,
happening.
David's like the big goat, and Kevin's the cockroach that won't die.
Can't get rid of that. No matter what.
Kevin's won a couple things. Maybe.
What is Christmas? Did Christmas use her power?
No, she hasn't.
What is her power?
It's if she feels she's going to be a renom at the veto meeting, she can block that. But I think she has to use it before the renom is made.
Okay.
As I understood the language of the power when it was like explained to her.
And that's why when Davon wins HOH tonight, let me repeat that again. When Davon wins OH tonight, Christmas's ass will be sitting on the block from the beginning, so the veto don't freaking matter.
I'm just looking to Big Brother. I'm going to the Big Brother Twitter feed to see if I can find.
We're still at puppies.
The puzzle hasn't come through.
The kittens were fighting earlier. So
Did she say you were going to be able to watch it on the feeds tonight?
She made it sound like you were going to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
And was there any hint at a double next week?
No.
No, but there's a 2-hour. You brought up the 2-hour.
Oh, I didn't see the 2 hours.
It's coming up in 2. We got that in a chat today. The first episode in October is a 2-hour episode, but that doesn't make me think double. That makes me think triple.
I'm like, let's just get this. Julie's like, let's get this game.
That makes me think BB can triple because they've never done a double in a 2-hour episode, right? Like we've always done them in a 1. So why are we gonna make it a 2-hour episode?
I would be shocked if it was a triple. I mean, there's that, and then there's this whole like new thing that was thrown at our face at the last second with the neighbor coming in.
Wait, what? Okay, so I didn't watch the episode.
So you didn't see
explain
that.
To me.
So at the end,
the end of the episode, Julie revealed the new twist is there's going to be a BB legend moving into the neighbor house, which is apparently a house like next door. She didn't say who.
Literally, that's all we have. That's all the information. A BB legend is coming.
A BB legend is coming back, and if it's Dan or Derek, I will scream.
It's gonna be. It's not. It's gonna be Will. It's gonna be Dr. Will. We all know it. Come on, I think it has to be.
I hope it's Will.
Would that be nice?
I would support that. If they want to move Kaser and Janelle back into the neighbor house as a duo.
So is this person playing the game or they?
I don't think so.
We don't know any extra details. I'm guessing they're just going to be there to like stir the pot.
You could say Dan all you want. You need Derek right here, right? Like you need Derek right here because you've still got Cody and Nicole, right? Like that's the move you need. And I've always said this. I've said this in our chat with Allison and Tyler, our little chat that we have here and there. I've said that
I know who I want.
The 2 players that are playing this game still are Derek and Dan. They have influenced this game more than anybody in a house has influenced this game. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're completely right, Andrew. I know who I want. I want Josh.
Oh, well,
I want Josh.
he's quarantined for the challenge.
Is he? I wasn't sure if Josh was actually playing the challenge this season.
Let's think about the times that we're in though. Like, what BB legend is Dr. Will Kirby going to quarantine for 2 weeks, like in order to just be the next door neighbor? What's going on there? What is up? The Price is Right, maybe.
They're not putting in Rachel because she's pregnant.
It's going to be the BB legend Raven.
Yes, right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is like the fan favorite battle of the block, right? So this is gonna be the BB legend.
Frankie freaking Grande.
Once you said battle of the block, I got flashbacks to Frankie.
It's like, no. Frankie. No, it is. It is the BB legend Raven moving into the house next door as the annoying neighbor that everybody loves.
Speaking of which, I promised Tyler I would bring this up. We've got our teams.
Oh, poor Beth.
Jesus, Beth, you've got nothing.
I started out pretty bad, but I'm
sorry, Beth. Beth's got nothing. Andrew, I don't think you got much of anything either.
Andrew, it's coming to an end. Of course, I think Memphis is going to win.
Allison, if that's the case, you're counting out Memphis.
No, I'm just saying. I think Memphis is going to make it to Final 3 or 2. And Tyler is, I mean, look at Alex's team, though. Like, no, David is still freaking around. Like, I don't even understand how that is possible.
Yeah, I think I'm liking Team Alex, and then I love the Enzo pick. I think is just like the best rootable pick right now outside of Davon. So yeah, go Team Alex, go Team Tyler. Who thought we'd say go
Enzo.
Team Tyler?
I'm not an Enzo fan.
I don't know why, but you're talking about Yo. Why you don't like Enzo?
That's it. That's it.
Yo, Yo.
I've been saying that at work all the time. That's it. I say it all the time now. This is like when Paul was in there. I would say friendship and like shit like that, like pissed and like stuff. Now I'm saying that's it all the time.
I think Paul
my favorite is okay. So it was the one season, 2 seasons ago. Me and my wife would always go around and say, "Don't forget to watch Big Brother, only on CBS."
Oh, yeah, with Rachel and JC.
Yeah.
You know you want to watch.
Only on CBS.
CBS.
You got to put the jazz hands in.
Someone's strangling it now.
CBS.
Yes, because I'm fully funding Big Brother this year with my CBS All Access bill that I get. You know, I'm paying $10,000 a month for freaking CBS All Access, and right now I'm looking at a kitten licking its ass. So if we could get this all moving along, how
to go a little
the fire hydrant.
To go a little on that, CBS All Access, since they've added the MTV stuff, since they added that kind of stuff, the value of it has increased exponentially, right? Like the challenges on there. I think RuPaul's on there. I'm not a fan, but for a reality TV show aspect, RuPaul's on there now. The challenge. My wife loves Siesta Key. Like Cliff will be the neighbor. I love that.
Oh, God.
Yes.
No, it was in Tyler's contract that Angela had to move next door if he made it to the jury.
Oh, for God.
And the house next door is really just the HOH shower.
I think it's Beast Mode Cowboy saying, "I heard you guys had Amber around this lot somewhere." Like, where is she?
No, he's already stalking the MTV cast.
That's right. Oh, that's right. She's gonna be playing potentially, or is playing.
Ooh, Zingbot Valencia. I like that. I can't wait for
that. Zingbot. Makes sense. That's smart. Valencia, I think Valencia, you hit it on the nose. That's it.
The BB Legend, you don't have to quarantine.
But did she call it a twist? Did she call it a twist?
She called it the neighbor next door. She didn't really go into details. Like it was left very intentionally vague. She showed like the outside of a White House with like red trim.
Well, that's great because it's going to kick up Twitter. Everyone's going to be like, "Is it this person? This person?" Watch it be Zingbot. I think that would be great. I think that's it.
Or it's Sam the robot. She has to stay in the quarantine house, but she sends her robot in.
It's just the robot, and Sam's doing the voice from like home somehow.
Yeah, or no, she's doing it from the house next door.
Hey so guys, I know you just have to take a left and a right and 2 lefts and a right and a left. I'm in the house.
Now, Bill. We haven't spoken a lot. It's Stephen Dangle. Yes.
I've heard good things, Stephen. I've heard good stuff.
Just remember, Libra's a liar and Josh has COVID.
It's freaking Steve. Hey, listen, Bill, we haven't talked in a minute. Yeah. Who's your winner pick? What's going on? What is your thought process? Where are you at right now?
I mean, right now, like Enzo is in the best spot. I mean, Cody Cody and Enzo are in the best spot, and then like rooting interest 100% in Devon. So I personally will be unsatisfied if Enzo or Devon don't win. I've like really, once Kaser and Janelle were gone, like I feel like I kind of like, I rarely do this like fall off and like start becoming a casual, like, live feeds I'd only check like right at the end of the night, and I'm rarely catching episodes. I'm just maybe listening to a couple recaps in the morning or like just checking some updates. But for the most part, like it's just been upsetting. We've been waiting a decade and a half for All Stars, and I just couldn't. Every year, everyone's saying, no, we want new people. I'm always the person that says I want All Stars, and just disappointed with what we're getting. And if Enzo or Devon don't take it, it will just feel like a letdown.
I think Enzo, and I said it last night during the show, Enzo, Memphis really are in good spots. They're almost playing the same game, it seems like. I mean, nobody is throwing their name. No one's talking about them. And they can plant seeds. Freaking Memphis in tonight's show told Nicole, well, if you want to be in the jury house with Ian that bad, we can make that happen, joking about flew her into an emotional spiral. But I mean, he can say things like that and get away with it. Enzo can say things like that and get away with it. And they're not on anyone's radar. If whoever becomes HOH, I don't see them putting up Enzo. I don't see them putting up Memphis at all. I guarantee.
Unless it's David. David will put up Memphis. David will put up Memphis if David wins, but David's not winning a puzzle, is he?
I think the only person who could potentially avoid the block this week is Devon. Because there are too many people in front of her. Like Kevin and David are always going to be in front of her. There's no power. The Nicoles, Enzo's, Memphis aren't looking at Devon as the person they put up first.
Right.
They might try to backdoor her, but she's not going on the block immediately. And there's nothing to like.
I'm still caught up on the neighbor. And the neighbor.
Let's talk about the fun thing. Let's talk about the one fun thing we have left, the neighbor.
The neighbor is the wall yeller.
Hell yes. Great comment.
The neighbor, it's been Will Kirby the entire time, just screaming crap from the house next door. Nicole is a live reliever.
I just have to go ahead and throw that out.
Love Steven. Josh has COVID.
Yes.
The wall yeller is the neighbor. And I'm picturing like Home Improvement with the fence.
Oh yeah, Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
That would be funny too. Oh man, I think we could if the CBS doesn't do this, we could make our own twist. We'll just send it in. Like that's so funny. We gotta have Zingbot with his head over the fence. Oh my god, it's perfect.
The house next door.
Maybe they're building a fence. That's the veto. They have to build the fence, or they have to build like a self-quarantine box around themselves.
Like, how long does it take to build a fire hydrant? I'm looking at kittens and dogs napping right now.
Allison, doesn't BB have like so we knew going in it's Tyler versus Ian, and we knew going in that it could be like a flip vote or a tie vote, and maybe Danny has to make a decision. And so I think sometimes when that happens and they start an HOH that could potentially be over relatively soon, they don't flip the feeds on. They either wait until the West Coast has aired and then they go into it, or we don't see the remainder of that competition if it's a shorter one. If it's not going to go hours, they're not going to put it on the live feeds. At least that's what I felt like has been the experience.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
CBS knows that I have it on right now, and they know that I have the feeds up right now, and they're doing this shit on purpose. So I'm turning it off because I ain't having it. Now watch the damn show.
Wait, Tyler won. No, just kidding.
I have something from Tyler. I have something from Tyler that I've been asked to address.
Okay. Oh, from Tyler Lyons?
Yeah, Tyler Lyons. No, if it was from Tyler from All Stars, I would ignore.
Hey, Allison, can you officially take Matt off the stream now? Because we don't.
No, I'm just relaying a message from Beyond the Grave. He asked me to mention this, and it was from another Twitter. And it was talking about saying Devon's speech is the best one so far. She's using her platform for something bigger than herself, which I think is a shot at Tyler's speech again from earlier.
Oh, yeah. Listen, that was the dumbest shit I've heard in a long time. And I've been watching Big, but you've got classy Ian going, this has been part of my life for 8 years. This means a lot to me, blah, 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 this, and I'm getting emotional. I'm getting caught up in the feels. Even Finley's like, Mama, what's going on? No. And then you got freaking Ding Dong getting up, buy Angela's cookbook, buy our jewelry and our hairline products. And Angela, I love you. And, I didn't even dress up tonight because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. Because I'm in like my tank top and sweat shorts because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. At least freaking act like you're leaving, you dick. Tyler, you're a dick.
It was
So I'm going to address a little bit
not aimed at the right Tyler
of what Matthew said, and it's probably an unpopular opinion.
Oh, Andrew.
Ooh, we love those from Andrew.
And I'm probably going to be banned and shunned from the entire world after this. But I do want to talk about the Davon using this game as a platform. I do agree with that 100%. And I love how she did it within her jury speech. I love how she has constantly done that. I draw the line at refusing to vote, right? I have a problem when David was on the block and she said, I cannot vote for David. I cannot do that because I will not vote someone because of the story that it tells. At the end of the day, you can use this as a platform and still play the game, right? Okay. I think keeping Nicole Anthony was the better move for her in that specific point. And that, when I'm right, he was against Nicole, correct? Yes, 100%. Correct. I understand her point in that, and I understand what she's saying in that. But at the end of the day, you're still there to play a game. So I feel like you can use it as a platform and still play the game. Because at that point in time, David was like tanking her that week, David was doing nothing.
I think the tweet that Tyler tweeted at me was in reference to her speech with Bailey.
Agreed, but you brought up the fact of the platform and all of that, and I agree with that. But I have a problem when that. Yes, there's something bigger, but why can't we have both? Like, why can't they be mutually exclusive?
Andrew, I don't want David being the first African American to win Big Brother. Is there something? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I just don't. And I think if she threw a vote away and didn't vote for him, I think it would be okay. Now, if she did that to Bailey, I'd have a problem with
100%, because there was an allegiance there. And if David was actually positive for her game, I'm okay with it. But David was doing things that week to her that were shady. She was asking for information, and he was straight up saying, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to do that. And so that shows something that could come back and bite you. And trust me, Bill's looking at me with the glaring eyes, and I get it. There is something greater than
she was forcing an alliance. Like, I know she was forcing an alliance that was going, that, maybe felt right, but in the end, she even knew it wasn't right, because she was upset with what David was doing and she was aware of how he was tanking her game. So yeah, game wise, it was not the right play. Andrew, I will give you that.
And agree. Everything else, to be fair, let's go back. Rewind to the draft. Davon was my winner pick from day one, right? Like, I love me some Davon. I love the platform that she has created this season. I love the voice that she has done that. I'm rooting for her to win tonight, but don't let that sacrifice the game, because to me, that sacrifices the credibility. Like, I'm using something that I love and I'm good at as a platform, but I'm going to sacrifice my game in that same regard. That both can be mutually exclusive. So, and to be fair, it goes back to, I'm like this way in everything. I support people that want to kneel, but I don't turn on football to watch that, right? I turn on to football to watch football. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's your prerogative. And I have no problem or occasion with that. But when the platform comes in the way of what you're being paid to do is where I do have that issue.
Are any of you guys Hunger Games fans? You guys Hunger Games fans? Okay, so for a while there, this felt like, during that situation, the quarter quell, and everyone's in on like getting getting Katniss to the end to prove a point.
Right.
Like, that's what it felt like.
Agreed.
And it felt, and I'm sure people, in the fictitious Panem would be very upset with, like, the back end, motives of these players. And just as I'm sure some people clearly Twitter is, upset or not upset about what's going on, with that. But it felt similar, and so I just want I've been feeling that analogy for a while, but I never got a chance to say it. So there it is.
No, that's great.
Take it.
That's
Digest
a
it.
great analogy, and I agree in that regard. Except death is not an option, so the stakes aren't as high. Right?
You sure? You sure death's not an option? I'm
But and to be fair, I think Devon has accomplished her goal in that platform, and I think she is a winner in this season, regardless of what happens to her. Right?
I think, yes, Devon is an amazing woman. I think she is a great example. I think that she's representing the African American community, and I think she is doing a great job. I would love for her to be the first African American winner of Big Brother, but I also want her to play the game and get there. I don't want it to be because she's African American. I also don't want a typical white guy to win either. I want whoever wins Big Brother to have played the game, put blood, sweat, and tears into it. If Devon happens to be that person, God bless her. I'll be so happy. I will be ecstatic. I'll be doing freaking cartwheels, and I'm not that flexible.
And so with that analogy, Allison, at this point in time, and this could be a question for all three of you, if you had to say right now who the most deserving winner, and you would be okay with this person as a winner because they have put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, and they have done their game, who is that for you? Mine would have been Ian before we walked out the door tonight.
Yeah, Ian would have been.
Are we talking about this game, or are we talking about the spectrum of Big Brother, like the whole
this specific one? Like you want
played.
this winner to be that you don't want it to be. You want it to be Devon if she does this or if she does that.
Yeah.
Is there a saving grace of someone that has done that this season so far that we're okay with them winning because they've played hard?
I don't have anyone.
I have one.
How about Cody? Cody is busting his tail every day. He has the house on lock. He has people on lock. He has best friends going against each other, Danny and Nicole, for fighting for his attention and his, approval. Cody is busting his butt, and if he won, I probably couldn't be mad. But my rooting interest, would make me upset in that Devon or Enzo didn't win. But if it's Cody versus anybody else, Cody has really worked hard.
I think the person for me, and it's just because I like these type of people in games like this, I'm rooting for Kevin. Kevin's been the scrapper. He's been the person who's been up 3 or 4 times, it feels like now, and he has stayed every single time. He's got to be doing something right when you've been nominated for eviction that much and you're still here.
I just can't deal with the whining.
Everyone's whining in this fucking house. All right, let's
it's a disease. Just add Brittany Haynes and we'll have the whiniest house of all time.
I'm a firm believer, and this is how when I've played online games and when I've done this, and I mean I've studied the strategy of Big Brother. You can't, and I feel like Bill will agree with me on this, and Allison, and maybe even Matt. I don't know. You can't fear the block, right? The block is part of the game. You're going to be nominated. And I feel the biggest and most important part of the game is how you react to the nomination more than it is, because it's going to happen. I mean, not everybody's Derek, right? Like nominations are going to happen. And if you use it correctly, a nomination can be the best thing for your game at times, right? Being nominated and surviving that can prove different things. I don't like how Kevin has handled his nominations. And that's the issue that I have with Kevin. Perfect examples of that: Will Kirby, Dan, the funeral, the I hate you all speech. These things are what make you a great player because of how you react to the block. It's part of the game. I hate when people are like, I've got to avoid the block. I've got to avoid the block. Bring it on, right? It's part of the game.
Put me up. I will get myself off. I will figure out a way, because I'm a gamer and I want to play this game. Just because and there are people who have won Big Brother who have never touched the block, Derek, and that's fine. But because I'm a big Derek fan, I don't care what anybody says. Tyler kicks my ass.
Good with that,
Derek. Okay.
But it's 22 seasons, and that's happened once. Am I correct on that? Derek's the only one, right?
That's the only one I could think of. Honey, I'm 43 years old.
Bill, am I wrong on that?
Wait, say the scenario again.
Has anybody else never been nominated besides Derek?
I'm not sure. Oh, Oh, someone said Paul in 19. Steven said Paul in 19. That's probably true.
But was
It's
that
very
because of Powell? Now in 19, didn't he have like 3
Yes.
weeks
Yeah,
safety
he
or
was going to
something?
go up, and then he had the pendant of protection.
So for me, that doesn't really count. But it's there though. But to me,
I would have to look into it. I would believe it that Paul was never nominated, but I can't like 100% swear that Paul was.
If I'm sitting in final two, give me the person who's never been nominated because I'm ready to tear them up with a speech. They skated by and I had to hustle. Like if you can't prove that, then forget it. Like,
well,
give me that person.
Bill knows my take in like games that I have played. I don't fear being up. If anything, when I play games, I expect to go up. Like in games that are out there of mine, I have been like, I expect to go up weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You know, like if I'm not up, it's a miracle, and if I'm up, I'll scrap my ass off to stay.
So I'm gonna burst a bubble.
Oh well, go it. Real
burst away. We need it.
Is it an HOH?
No. That's still puppies. To be fair, and I'm gonna go on record here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has ever played the game and not been nominated because Derek did not win Final HOH. Paul did not win Final HOH. You are technically nominated at that point in time.
Yes, you are.
Because it is an HOH casting a vote to evict. And Derek did not win Final HOH. Therefore, to me, in my opinion, Derek was nominated. Now,
because you're technically,
but he wasn't nominated. It's like a self-nom, right?
But you are technically vulnerable still at that point.
But no one has said your name. You're on the block. No one did that to them.
Now, Derek can say he never received a vote.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, I see your argument, but I disagree.
And would it be an Andrew and Allison show if you didn't?
And right? This is the Andrew Gibson I know. He's looking for the semantic in the argument, and that's 100%.
Okay, I want to jump. If it's cool with Allison, like I want to jump to the Ian's speech. So like we talked about Ian's speech a little bit, how he was classy and everything. But like, did he make the correct speech? If to recap his speech, it was more of like, hey, like I love playing this game. It has meant a lot. It's done so much for me, and I feel like I've offered it a lot as well. And he said that he prefer. What else did he say? Oh, that, and then he made the emotional plea, like, like I really have a lot still to give. I know a lot of people say that, but I really feel like I do. And then his only pitch was do what's best for you. And that left me upset. Like that was his last line. I'm like, oh, it's so cliche. That's not like a Ian line unless he's studied that line is beneficial. But usually I know that when people come in to vote, they're already decided. Just like you come into tribal council, the vote's usually set. I think many survivors have said like that they've never changed their vote when they go to tribal, like if it's a straightforward one. And I feel like this is probably the same case, but I think there's just so much more he could have said. Like he should have done what he said in the episode. He should have brought up those points that he was making to Memphis about how Tyler is potentially a better player, even though Tyler never won. So like, use Ian as that meat shield continually. But Tyler, even though he didn't win the game, like look at all that Tyler's life has offered him and all that Big Brother has offered him. He got a relationship. He got America's favorite player. He still got final 2. He got invited. He has, a booming business. He has a really, a great girlfriend for him with a cookbook. Like, he has, life has given him a lot after with Big Brother. And I think Ian should have used that. And he also has a lot more friends in the house and he's more charming. Like, there's so many points that Ian could have said, but I know Ian wanted to be classy and not cut down Tyler, but I think it's not cutting him down. He's only praising him. He could have he should have continued to praise him. He should have just tried something at the end there. I just don't think Ian did enough. He could have said like, most people don't even think that I won this game. They just think that Dan lost. Like he should have said that more because everyone talked about that at the beginning of the season.
I completely agree. He could have said more. He almost made it okay, like he was submitting to defeat. Because there are 2 things that I hate that people say in Big Brother. 1, do what's best for your game. And 2, I sadly vote to evict. Shut up. I don't want to hear those 2 things anymore. I'm not going to stand there when I'm about to do what's best for your game. Use your head. That's that lump 3 feet above your ass. What do you think's going to be the better decision here? I haven't won a fucking thing. He has. I'm not a threat to you. He is. use some common sense. Excuse me, Jesus.
Okay,
But
so
how I would word it, not exactly verbatim, because CBS.
I want to go after Ian's vote now because I did read something.
I just want to. Can I just say something about Ian's speech?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I feel like Ian said the right thing because I think he was speaking more to Nicole. I think his speech was directed at her because he felt like the vast majority of the cast, as you saw in his interview before Tyler revealed there was a giant alliance.
Well, if he knows he has the other Matthew, if he knows he has the other three, and if he was directing at Nicole, the boss move would be to stare at Nicole and say, "Nicole, I'm speaking to you."
But that's what he should have done position-wise. But I felt like his speech was directed more to Nicole and Danny to be like, you need to vote for me, and Danny needs to, do the right thing in his mind. But I don't think if he tears down Tyler and takes that shot, I think he takes the chance that Nicole still won't vote for him because it'll look more like those two are now fully aligned. And he loses that. You could still be safe with me here, even if you vote to evict Tyler.
I don't think. I think, to be perfectly honest with you, Danny and Nicole lost Ian's jury vote tonight.
Oh yeah,
100.
I would say 100% those two girls.
Yep,
Even though he's praising that alliance move, I think he's praising the four guys in that alliance.
He's being a class act. He is pissed off. He is pissed. You saw him in the diary. He has it in him. He has this temper, and he's talked about it before. And he's talked about his days with Judd and getting drunk and being belligerent and things like this. He's talked about that stuff on the feeds. Like he does have that temper flare in him, and he did. That's why Julie, I think, was just so impressed because she was like, Ian kept it together. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Andrew,
okay, so and then I want to go to something else. I agree with Bill, and I can't believe I'm saying those words.
Hold on, let me timestamp.
Yeah, can someone clip that? Yeah,
1 minute and 30
someone go to Best Twitch page.
My speech,
retweet it to Andrew Gibson.
My speech would have been looking directly at Nicole Franzel and said, "Do you want to be the only winner left in this house?" And then Mike's goal would go to look directly to Danny and say, do you want the two winners to be out of the house? Because from legend status, I feel like after winner, I feel like Danny Donato is the biggest stock value left in this game.
Yeah. At least she thinks she is.
And I agree, right?
And that's enough. Her and Christmas think that they are the best.
Because if those go,
so does Memphis.
That's there. I feel like the stock value is there on that. And so I feel like he should have directed the speech directly to Nicole, done his last ditch effort, and laid things out. He should have done a little more Kaser in his speech.
Yeah.
He should have done a little more. Not overdo it, because I think Kaser overdid it, but Kaser just didn't care at that point, right? And Kaser's gratification was when the next week on the feeds, Davon looked up and said, Kaser, you were right. That's all Kaser needed from this. And that. Now, I do have a major problem with tonight's episode. A major problem.
Andrew has a problem.
And it's in the goodbye messages.
I'm wondering if it's the same.
It's in the good. It's in the goodbye messages.
I'm waiting.
I have a huge issue that you were able to reveal your strategy and Tyler able to reveal the commission once the game is over and Ian is officially a part of the jury, and you are able to tell a jury member that your game after he has been evicted from the house. I have a major problem with that.
Though that's happened before. People have used goodbye messages as a weapon.
I don't. Yes, but has it revealed an alliance?
That's how Josh won.
What'd you say, Bill?
That's how Josh won.
Yeah,
I mean, he exposed Paul's entire game in his goodbye messages.
Yeah,
but did he specifically say alliance names?
I mean, I don't remember specifically, but I noticed he gave up a lot of information.
Josh gave up a lot of information, but it was the way he went about it. As Paul was just like, bye.
Regardless, I'm not okay with that, right? You're not in the game anymore. There should be nothing game revealed at that point. It goes back to me, one of my favorite moments in Big Brother history is when Brittany Haynes was revealed the bomb squad right before she left, right? Like that should be done in the house before the game ends. That's one of my favorite nights is Brittany and Lane and that was just.
You mean the brigade? You mean the brigade?
Oh,
right?
sorry, not the bomb squad, the brigade.
Okay.
I've worked since 7 o'clock this morning. When that was revealed to Brittany, like that's one of my favorite moments in that. When it has to happen in the house. Once they go home, they should get DVDs and evicted people's information, and that's it. So I don't like that gameplay comes through on goodbye messages, and that's a horrible problem that I have with tonight.
I'm trying to think now. With Big Brother 1, we picked the winner. And I'm sorry, I'm reaching way back. In Big Brother 2,
that's when HOH became a thing.
That's when HOH became a thing. The first one was on a damn wheel. Anyway, did they sequester that jury? Or did they?
Because they only started sequestering the juries after 3, because that's when.
Because remember Danielle Reyes, yeah.
Because they sent them home with like tapes and stuff, and they got to see Danielle's DR things where she was.
How do you feel about that? Like, don't you? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like with this year, I would love for them to. I don't know. I liked that about Big Brother 2. I don't know.
I don't.
Well, of course you don't, Andrew.
I think the safest thing is like in the COVID era is to keep them in jury. That way, it's not the show's fault at all. Like they're not sending people home and then they have COVID and they have to send in their vote. Like I think it's just like there's a lot going on.
The game is the game, and I don't feel like you should be able to watch the edit of the game, right? I don't feel like you should be able to watch how it's perceived and how it's sent. I feel like you should be able to vote based on your perspective of the game and your perspective alone. So I like the sequestering of the jurors.
I think they are sequestering them still. I think they're
100% they are. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
So let me ask you, like, what now, Bill and Matt, and Andrew, what are your feelings?
You can forget about me. It's okay.
Do what, Andrew?
I said you can forget about me. It's okay.
No, it's fine. You're down. You're under me. I can't help it. I see you.
Whoa, Allison.
Whoa.
Hey, we need to rearrange the cameras now. We need to get Andrew out.
How do you guys feel? Oh, we got a BB. I don't claim BBOTT. Okay. Hold on. We got a BBOTT, and I love BBOTT. Hold on a second. How do you feel about Julie Chen Moonves not having to wear a mask?
Oh, it's annoying as hell.
I'm indifferent. I don't care.
I mean,
it bugs the holy hell out of me. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like if they have to wear a mask, I really feel like she should have to wear a mask too.
What bugs me is the opposite. Like, I feel like once Ian gets to his seat, he can take off his mask. Like, I feel like, that's just better for audio. It's better for everything. It's better for seeing what they're saying. And I understand that they want to present their COVID, like they're safety positive, but I mean,
either they both should be masked or they both should be unmasked. Yeah. This, like, the house guests must be masked to protect Julie bullshit when they've been quarantined far more than Julie Chen Moonves, who goes home and then does her shit with the talk. I don't know if they've gone back to being in a studio together or not.
She has
maybe she's the neighbor. It's Julie.
I think Ian's the neighbor.
She's been there the whole time.
Yeah, let's put the jury house as the neighbor. That would be great.
That would be so sweet.
Speaking of Big Brother OTT, Valencia, I know BB. Okay, now let me ask you, BBOTT. I'm having a brain fart. They did go home, didn't we?
America voted for the winner in BBOTT.
Okay, this is true. Okay.
But in Celebrity Big Brother, they sent him home.
Okay, that's okay.
There was no sequester for Celebrity Big Brother. Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, they sent him home and flew him back for the finale.
Yeah, and they flew him back for the finale.
Well, and that's why Celebrity Big Brother is a different beast than.
So we're getting towards the end, and I do want to talk about one thing at the end, but I'm going to do the typical Tyler.
I wanted to rewind to something before the vote that
Go for
I
it.
noticed come up on Twitter. It's when Ian is.
It's just getting close to Allison's bedtime.
Oh, shush! Get out of here. Go ahead.
It was during Ian's talk to Danny in the HOH room, where he basically says, "I'm not voting for you," but then he also says, "But if you're against like Davon, David, or Kevin," he alluded to that he would vote for her in those situations. I've seen on Twitter, people are trying to trash Ian for that. I also saw on Twitter, and I kind of buy this more, that Ian is trying to put in her head, like, keep these people around so that you could potentially beat them, so that if you do take one of those 3 to a final, I can fuck you over with that.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I like people who are saying like Ian was being racist in that moment. I don't necessarily buy that.
I don't.
I think Ian was buying them time. He was trying to buy them a place.
That's what I think more is Ian was trying to buy them time with Danny.
Yeah.
But
when he's in there, he's all game, like except for like, you know, that emotional connection he has to like one person, like whether it's Brittany Haynes or whether it's Nicole. Outside of that, he is pure game. So like anything he's saying is only strategy.
So I'm going to pull the typical Tyler, and I want predictions on who you think will be evicted this week and who you think will win this season of Big Brother All-Stars. And then I'm going to sidetrack to something completely different.
Andrew, why did you say his name? He's in the chat now. You did this.
Yes, Tyler, we've already had this discussion. Leave us alone.
Here we go. Shitting on. Here we go.
I said that, Tyler. I said that, Tyler. I brought that up.
Shut up, Tyler.
And now I'm carrying on your end point. So who do you think will be evicted and who's going to win the game? Go, Allison.
Well, it depends on who wins HOH. I have a feeling Kevin's going to be nominated if he doesn't win. Kevin and David, I feel like, are going to be nominated if they don't win HOH. Hands down, that's it. I feel like Davon might get backdoored if one of them wins veto. That could possibly happen. I don't see the committee breaking up. But that's just how I feel. As far as winners go, I feel like the final 2 is going to be Cody and Memphis. I've been saying this for a long time. My final 3 would be Memphis, Cody, and Enzo.
But Enzo goes third again. Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
He goes third, he leaves, and it comes down to Memphis and Cody, and I think Cody will win. I mean, because what is Paul doing? What's Paul Memphis doing right now? We're gonna get into it.
Apparently, he almost called David the N-word in private.
There was some feed thing. I didn't hear it, but I read about it.
I haven't seen a clip of it, so I can't I'm not gonna throw my 2 cents in on the situation.
It's not worth Twitter it. Has been, if you haven't heard it, don't say anything you haven't heard.
People going off about it.
Matt, what is your prediction for this week?
Yeah, right? Oh my god.
Well, let's see. My prediction for this week, honestly, I think Danny is getting evicted this week. I think she is in a position where she has not made friends. If Tyler is winning HOH, which I think he might win, he's not gonna let Danny get away with what she pulled after the whole we're gonna not go after each other right before nominations this week and after the disruptor this week. I think Tyler is gonna be out for blood. I think if one of Tyler's close friends is the HOH, I think Tyler will get in their ear. Enzo has wanted to get rid of Danny. So if Enzo wins HOH,
we'll do it, yo.
Yeah. I think there are enough people in the house who could take the swing at Danny that she could go this week. My winner pick for the season, fuck knows. I'll go with Davon because that's what I want to happen. I don't know if it'll realistically happen, but that's what I just need to hold on to that hope.
And Zudi McBooty, Bill, what is your prediction?
Depending on HOH, of course. If I really think that people are over David. Watching him, the little bit of feeds that I have, and he's just exhausting, and he's exhausting all of them just because of just the way that he approaches game and the way that he talks to people. Even personal conversations are tough with David, and he's just exhausting, and I think people are done. So I would imagine that he goes. And then winner, if it's the Hunger Games scenario, Davon is our winner. If it's my heart, I think I want Enzo, really. And then if it's my head speaking, it's Cody. So I'm going to say Cody's our winner.
Okay.
All right. So my prediction is the neighbor moves in after the comp started, and the puzzle queen, Caitlin Herman herself, will win this challenge.
Caitlin is going to intercept HOH this week.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's someone that would do that. She'd quarantine herself just to be a guest star for a day on the show, 100%.
I think Davon's winning HOH tonight. I truly do. Davon has done some great puzzles in the challenge. I feel that Davon has a shot at winning tonight, and I think that Davon will go after the big guns, and I think Cody or Memphis walks out the door this week. I think that that's the route she's going to go because Davon's going to cut the head off the snake, and so that's gonna be that.
I agree.
And then, Allison, I'm going to segue into some sad news.
What?
That we need to discuss. I don't know if you did read the articles this week, but Survivor has been postponed again. It is now not being filmed until spring of 2021, and we will not get an episode until our season till at least fall of 2021.
It's a year.
We're gonna miss an entire year of Survivor, which is the first time that's happened.
We're gonna rewatch. We're gonna pick a season of Survivor. We're gonna rewatch.
I already have a season I want to suggest.
What season do you want to rewatch?
My favorite underrated season, and I think still one of the best seasons, is Survivor China.
Okay.
Like, that is a season I love, I adore. I think it has a great cast of characters. It has some very great moments. I don't think it gets the respect it deserves. I also want to say about Survivor in present time, I think we're going to get back-to-back seasons. I think they're going to do 2 seasons in a row
in the fall.
They'll do one. I think they'll do one right after the other, just so that they can try to start building their. I think they'll do back-to-back seasons so they can start canning other seasons.
I would hate that.
Oh, I would hate it too.
And I don't think that would happen because they're not going to run Survivor during Christmas. It's just not going to happen, right?
I put nothing past CBS at this point.
Me either. Let me tell you.
These times, nothing better would be a Christmas gift. Would be Survivor on Christmas Day. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Bill, what they're going to do is they're going to take this entire cast of Big Brother All Stars and move them straight to the Survivor Island as soon as this season ends.
And let them play.
Yeah,
and we're gonna play Survivor.
Let's just run the season back on the island and we'll see what happens.
I've always said, and I've said this for years, that the
hold on, my cats are fighting.
Oh, I thought someone won HOH.
I've always said that CBS is missing a great opportunity in the fact that they should have done a challenge type show and put Big Brother and Survivor contestants on it. And now that CBS kind of has that ownership in MTV and we're really kind of starting to see that start to form, it's enticing to watch. And I love the challenge, and I would like to talk to Allison about recapping that. And
well, you both are on the older side with me. Was it CBS or NBC who owned Battle of the Seasons? There was a show on years and years and years ago, where they had all reality players from
right. Oh, I don't remember.
I remember the show, but I don't remember what network it was.
That Average Joe show with the nerdy guy.
But Allison, I am putting in the request that we start doing challenge recaps this season if we don't have Survivor.
I agree. I want to do that. I want to do a challenge. And Jesus, my cats are going to be death. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, with CBS, you need to put a camera on my cats while the feeds are down. I promise you. What you heard?
I'd pay for that, an extra $1.
And you know what? Allison might even put them up for adoption.
At this rate, she might.
Which reminded me of another saying that I'm.
Hey to Beth's brother, Chris Dixon in the chat. Yeah. Hello from Beth's
Except
brother.
For he's not really Beth's brother. He's a poser. He's a fake.
Hey, listen, here's the thing. I'm really tired of take a swing. If you're going to take a swing, don't miss. Oh, please shut up. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Just stop it.
Oh, Chris Dixon wants Allison to win HOH and put up Andrew and Bill.
Yeah, only because he wants to backdoor Henning. That's you're getting backdoored, buddy. Sorry.
No,
because
veto. I'm winning veto, and I'm leaving it alone, and then I'm going to evict one of you to your face.
You really think that you're going to be if it's physical, I'm winning. If it's mental, Bill's winning, and then we're taking their ass out.
It might be the other way around. I don't know.
Bill knows I'm better.
Bill, I was going to say I was winning either way, but I was trying to give you a little credit.
I appreciate the brain comment. I'll take it any day.
Go fuck yourself, Gibson. Go.
All we know is that Henning's not winning either, so we're good.
And me and Bill have just formed a final two that we never thought would happen in the entire life.
All right, final two, me and you.
That's the way to do it. Opposites, you got to work with the people that you disagree with, because then you can see the game in a whole different way. It's so much better.
And I love Bill. Me and him, when we play games together, it's just always an instant rivalry.
We are constantly in
See,
competition.
Andrew, if you two want to make a deal, I still have Beth, and that means I get Allison.
You think you
guys
have
can
Beth?
try to
Oh,
pick
you're
up
so
Beth.
naive, Henning. You're so naive.
I
Sweetheart,
have Beth's phone number. If Beth turns
sweetheart,
into-
we evicted Beth last week. She's not here.
It's totally a joke.
Beth is doing a lot of evicting of her own right now.
Yeah, I know, Tiny. But she told me because I asked because there was.
I hope she doesn't watch this
on
episode.
that
You're gonna get in
note,
so much
we will
trouble
be
for
back
saying
on
that shit.
Tuesday
Oh my
night.
god. Good luck with that one.
Valencia, why are you turning in your phone? You're supposed to
On
be.
that note, we will be back on Tuesday night, correct? Or Tuesday or
Wow.
Wednesday next week, Allison?
Tuesday, because Big Brother messed up our schedule by having a show randomly on Wednesday. I just want to throw this out there.
Oh, no.
Yes, shush. Sunday night football is back on. So I have to say this every year. If you are DVRing Big Brother on Sunday night, please go into your DVR in your guide and record the two shows that come on after Big Brother. That way, if it cuts off,
if it gets preempted.
Well, they said for the next month, there's a release today that the Sunday episodes are this coming month, at least in September or October, are all being moved to Monday because of like CBS Family Movie Night on Sundays. So we're gonna have Monday, Wednesday, Thursday episodes.
You know, Big Brother ratings are down when they can't seem to fit it in the schedule.
Yeah, what are we gonna watch, Mrs. fucking Doubtfire on Sunday night?
Was a drive-by
fruiting. That's more entertaining than the episode.
Love Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello. Come on,
it's a Robin Williams movie. I will watch pretty much any Robin Williams movie. So that was.
I would watch Big Brother season 9.
No.
compared
to this season right now.
I voted with Andrew.
Okay, hold on. We got breaking news. Starting October, BB, now what? Hey, listen, that doesn't really affect me because we're going to continue to do spoilers and whatnot on Tuesday, and then the eviction show.
And hold on, Matthew, and I'm calling you Matthew. Give me Chelsea and James over anybody right now that's in this house.
Crazy James or James Ryan?
Crazy. I'm talking BB9.
Yeah, no, I might give you that.
I met Crazy James at a casting call.
I might concede that to you. I might.
He wasn't as crazy.
I'll wait for the call to end, and then I'll decide whether I concede. No, I will not dress up in drag. This body was not meant to dress up in drag, Chris Dixon. Don't even try.
So, Allison, do we have anything else?
Please become a patron of My Weekly Meltdown. It's patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown. You could be on the show like these wonderful. Well, these guys are on the show not just because they're patrons, it's because I love and adore these gentlemen, and I would have them on.
And Tyler and Beth were busy.
And yeah, well, Beth's got an excuse. Yes. I don't know what Tyler's up to.
Beth has a legitimate excuse that I.
Yeah.
Well, Allison's always trying to recruit me to come on the show when she's not there. I'm like, I want the Allison experience. That's like, I love Tyler and Beth. But like the true My Weekly Meltdown experience is having a conversation with Allison. Like that's how I originally fell in love with like this and why, a big reason why I support it. So like I'm like, oh, Tyler's asking me and Allison's going to be there. Like I'm definitely doing it.
Oh, Allison asked me. Allison.
Oh, Tyler reached out. I don't know. Maybe Allison's afraid of me. I don't know.
No. Here's what okay, hold on, Andrew, before you have an aneurysm. He goes, I can't do the show Thursday. Do you want me to reach out to Bill and Matt? And I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I think I actually ended up reaching out to Matt. I can't remember, but 2 seconds later, yeah, Bill's doing it. So I didn't even get a chance to do it. Andrew, I send you a freaking link every week.
No, I'm not talking about you. I love you, and I know that I am always welcome. I'm pissed at one of your longtime subscribers.
Who?
Because Valencia told me that I was acting like Tyler.
Well, Valencia, somebody's got to be Papaw tonight.
Hey, you won America's favorite player. You're okay. You'll be fine.
We're not talking about
the other Tyler. You are a little bit. That's true. You did kind of like you're trying to rein it in a little bit. I've been watching you, but you're doing a good job.
I'm trying.
I guess this is what happens when I come on the show and I'm not in the chat to try to keep these people in line. They go crazy.
Chris Dixon said I have nice hair.
Agreed.
See, Chris, I still have mod powers. I can still ban you from.
No, please keep him. I'm loving this.
No,
he said Allison looked younger than her age and that I have nice hair. This is fantastic.
You said that?
Chris Dixon.
Well, thank you, Chris Dixon. I appreciate that. I do my best. But listen, guys, seriously, become a patron, or just subscribe to my weekly meltdown on YouTube. You know, whatever. We have a little Facebook page. We have a My Weekly Meltdown Instagram. I'm sad to say I changed my cat Finley's Instagram. It's no longer Finley's Insty. I have 4 cats, and they're all fighting to be on Instagram. So it is now Kelly Cat Drama. So it's Kelly Cat Drama. And it's, you know, if you follow Finley, then, you know, and he's giving me the evil eye right now. That's probably what the fight was about anyway. But yeah, follow us. And guys, you can follow Matt. His handle is in the window, and Bill, his is on Twitter. And Andrew, do you really want to follow Andrew?
No. Bill.
I mean, yes. Sorry, I just got caught up in
Andrew, I follow you. I support you on Twitter.
I appreciate that.
And on Facebook too. I'm the one who's nice to you.
Andrew's got the disc jockey thing going on tonight. He's all leaning in with his fancy little spit cover over his
Well, this is we got this set up for my wife's new business. And so I was excited that I got to use it.
Shilling for a relationship.
Do what?
Andrew shilling for his wife, just like Tyler shilled for Angela.
Yes, I do. I also have a jewelry business, guys. It's called Sky High Gems.
Look them up on Facebook.
Look us up on Facebook. I'm going to be the Tyler that tells that in my speech tonight. That I do have a jewelry business. No, I'm just kidding. We have fun at Saturday.
Can you imagine if in my speech I got up there and I was like, I just want to say, Finley, I miss you. I love you.
Allison's votes every week are, I sadly vote to evict Bill. Love you, Finley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That would be the best. That would literally be the best. And everyone's wondering who Finley is.
It's my
And then
cat.
we get to the end of the season.
Everybody's like, we got to find Allison's husband, Finley. We got to find her son, Finley. No, it's her cat, guys.
Cat. And like Julie asks when either Allison wins or gets evicted, it's like, who's Finley? And she's like, it's my cat.
It's hold on. I'm about to show a picture of Finley before we get out of here. Everybody, this is Finley.
No.
Now, I've had people ask, why is there 2 pictures? Because if you were born in the 70s or the 80s as a child, there is a picture of you with a silhouette next to your head. And damn it, my cat's got one too. Look at that.
Amazing.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
Allison, can you believe that in just 9 days, it is the anniversary of Mickey's win and the birthday of my now 1-year-old child?
The night that Jackson Mickey won, little shit. What's your name?
Bria.
Bria. I was about to call her Maya. Bria was born.
She was technically born the next day, but the labor process started that night.
And you're in there going, can you be quiet with the labor pains? We get it. A baby's about to come out. I got Big Brother finale going on over here.
And to be fair, that was all Allison's fault because she said from the beginning that she would be born on finale night.
I did. And I'm very good at predicting winners. Just look at my Survivor history.
So,
And,
hey, I like
Allison-
that because if that's the case, my draft team is going to win.
Just real quick, I didn't start up a jewelry company or a cookbook, but I did just start up this new thing. I just started. It was called Venmo, and you can follow me and save your poor Chicago teacher at William Methling. Just find me.
No.
Well,
Actually,
no.
there's
You can follow me there.
Oh,
no. I mean,
no.
Send him away.
No.
Tyler, they say that I've been the you tonight.
I disagree with that. I have a bone to pick with you, Andrew.
Oh,
I can't wait.
shit.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm so glad he didn't say my name.
I'm ready for this.
So I just wanted to hop on real quick because you said that you don't like how Tyler revealed the committee in the goodbye message, and you said that that can't be influencing the game. I totally disagree with you.
I would expect nothing less.
That is a way to weaponize it in your favor. To me, that is a mark of a really good player. That's something that Dan did very well in his season of Big Brother 10. That's fine, Chris Dixon. And who's to say that that wasn't a lie? It's not. It's different if it's coming from Julie Chen because that's outside information. But that is your last impression before they go to the jury house.
No, it is a way to say goodbye. It is not a way to play the game. It is not a way to play the game.
If you want to use it to better your own game, I say go for it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
CBS has the absolute power to choose what they show, and they chose to show those things, so it's okay.
I have a bone to pick with the end videos now that like you guys are talking about it more. Does anyone get really annoyed with like the chop cut they do?
Oh, it's so
like,
bad.
Why can't they just have like a consistent video message?
I'm not done arguing with Tyler. Sorry, Matt. Tyler, no, but here's the problem, and this goes with what Bill just said, right? Like the problem is in the fact that you're not. If you were going to post a whole speech, that's fine, and you were going to post everybody's speech, that's fine, and you were going to give everybody this opportunity, but you're allowing CBS to edit the Big Brother messages. You're allowing CBS to edit the goodbye messages to be able to paint the image that CBS wants the jurors to see. That's where my problem stands. It's not a true vote, and you're not weaponizing anything. You're letting CBS weaponize it.
You are wrong. They show everybody, like they show all of the goodbye messages when they go to jury. They
show whatever they want.
They handpick some for us as the viewers to see on the show, but when they get to jury, they see every single goodbye message
in full length. So, you strongly believe that CBS
if it's not edited,
fair and transparent.
Yeah, that's why they make them do the goodbye message like 3 or 4 times for them to like finally say like, yes, this is the one I want to send. And
hey Matt, by the way, you're off the hook now. We're evicting Tyler. Congratulations.
We can ask like a Big Brother alumni this for clarification, but from my understanding, they hear all of the jury goodbye messages once they go to jury. And I think that that's as much as I hate Tyler on a personal level, I think that that's a mark of a good player is for him to say like, hey Ian, we were in on this. Don't be mad at me and respect the game.
Why don't we?
You should have been a good player. Would be able to say that while he was in the fucking house.
I'll reach out to Beth or Allison. You can reach out to Beth. She could probably ask Steve because he recorded probably enough because he won.
This is true.
Yeah.
A true player has been able to do that while they're in the house and shouldn't need to use a goodbye message. And my game should be able to speak for itself. And I don't think it's right to be able to use something after people's been evicted from the game and they're no longer in the house anymore. That's crap.
That's not something.
I want to say something that will never be said again. I agree with Andrew Gibson.
Thank you.
It was timestamped at 1
minute. Clip it, Allison.
1 hour 11 minutes.
27 seconds.
It's crap.
Yep.
Anyway, at least we can all agree that Derek's a good player, though, right, Allison?
Libra's a liar.
The only thing we can agree on is Libra's a liar.
Shima's in the house next door. Shima's the neighbor.
Yeah.
She's throwing microphones over the fence.
And messages are usually the truth. In the house, not so much. Like that is exactly my point. Is that like you are able to send them with like a better taste in their mouth on like what
that's such a contradiction from what you said 3 minutes ago.
It's not the truth. Look at what Nicole
when you just said that they could lie if they wanted to literally 3 minutes ago, Tyler. Can you not contradict yourself in the literal speeches when you literally just said, how do we know he's even telling the truth?
Clip it, Allison.
Like,
clip it.
You know it's the truth. He's not inside the game.
You have that choice.
No wonder you're a fan of Danielle Donato. You're playing just like her right now.
Get out of here. Right. No, actually, I'm going to get out of here because this is y'all's show. I really enjoyed it. Keep chatting if you guys want, whatever. But good show tonight. I was at a Zoom medium with my mom, so that's why I couldn't come tonight. But I'm happy to hear you guys chatting it up and everything, and I appreciate everything you say. Even though Andrew, I disagree with you, I still love you.
I feel like my drunk uncle just showed up uninvited to a family get together and made everyone uncomfortable.
And now, never mind. I was about to take that a little too far. I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
I still love and respect you, Andrew.
I love you so much, Tyler. And it's you always have the right to be wrong, and it's okay.
Same for you. But I'll be nice because you're a patron. There you go.
Oh my God.
Right,
I can see you, Tyler. So so Tyler, we're voting him out first. That's right.
Okay, so
that's a given.
It's weird now, isn't it? It's weird. Now it's weird, but that's okay.
I feel like our sanctum has been violated.
I feel like my drunk uncle just showed up uninvited at Thanksgiving.
Is Andrew Julie on a my weekly meltdown episode if he does not fight with Tyler in some capacity?
That's right. See,
You had a chance. You had a chance to set a new precedent. You could just fight with me and Bill.
No. I thought me and Bill would fight, but Bill agreed on most things tonight. So I'm glad Tyler came on to have some.
Yeah, Andrew, you finally started maturing. It's been nice to see.
No, don't give me that.
Well, look, we turned something out of nothing tonight, and I think this was a lot of fun talking to all of you.
It was a great one.
Thing is, this could have been a very short episode because it would have been fuck everyone, fuck everyone, and fuck everyone some more. But because we don't know who the HOH is, we don't have that rage going on yet.
No, I had a little kitten's butthole earlier.
But that one's kind of cute.
I'm telling you, I got Finley at my feet right now, and he is cuter to watch than this. Not that kittens aren't cute, but I'm throwing it out there. But anyway, I think that's about wraps it up. This has been a lot of fun and awkward and fun. Love you guys.
Now we're going to go find our uncle for the family reunion.
Because Allison forgot to mention this before, when she was talking about Finley's Insti. Are you still on Apple Podcasts?
Yes, thank you. We are on the Apple Podcast, My Weekly Meltdown.
The Apple Podcast.
Is it an Apple? I don't know what it is. Tyler's always yelling at me because it's in the body of the description of this shit show.
This shit show.
It's turned into a shit show since Tyler came in and invaded. We were doing so well, and then Tyler was like, I gotta show up.
Check us out on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Apple Podcast, become a patron.
I don't think the show has a Twitter. I think it's just Allison.
No, the Twitter's just me.
I want a compilation of every time that Andrew's tried to end the show.
End the show. We'll see you on Tuesday.
I just don't want people getting the incorrect
Allison, can you mute Matt, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Oh, shut up, Gibson.
At SOMMERS 1977 is the current My Weekly Meltdown Twitter, and I don't tweet that much, but whatevs. I got things to do, like break up WWE cat fights.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.